Hey guys, it's Miss Famer. Unfortunately, the first time I recorded this video while I did all the work, it didn't save the entire thing. So I'm going to have to do a slightly modified version of this, but hopefully at least you have the solutions and can use it as best you can. So if you just want to look at my work through the first one, the beginning two questions said option 2 and option 3. They wanted to know the total amount in week 10. It's a little deceiving because when you see the word total, you think sum. However, they really just want the amount in week 10. So if you look at my work, I knew the first one, option 2, was an arithmetic sequence. So I used the formula for arithmetic sequence. I used week 10. I knew my values U1, D, and my number of weeks, and I ended up with 2050. For option 3, it was a geometric sequence, so I had to use a different formula, UN equals U1 raised to the R times N minus 1. And when I substitute in those known values, I get 5,120. Part B then really did want the total amount you receive when you select option 2. It didn't say in a specific week, it just said total amount. So I knew I'd use the sum formula, which you can see right here, S sub n. So I substituted in all my known information, and the total amount after 10 weeks for option 2 is 11,500. Part C wanted the greatest total value comparing the three options. Well, we already got 11,500 for option 2, so we just had to check option 1 and option 3. Option 1 was simple. It was $1,000 a week times 10 weeks. That would be a total of $10,000. Option 3, that was geometric, so I had to use the sum formula for geometric. When I substituted in those known values into the formula from my formula page, I ended up with 10,230. So comparing the three totals, I knew option 2 would be the best option. Question 2, this is a chi-squared test. So the first part asked me for the null hypothesis. Null is when they are independent, so eye color and gender are independent. Part B said to show the number of degrees of freedom is 2, so you should get 2 as your answer. The formula I used was row minus 1 times columns minus 1, so 2 rows minus 1, 3 columns minus 1, showing that 2 is in fact the degrees of freedom. Part C, the critical value, or chi-squared critical value. I knew that I would be using the chart from my formula page. The top value would be 1 minus 0.05. 0.05 was given to us earlier as 5% level of significance. And then I knew on the left, it would be 2 for the degrees of freedom. If I follow those over, I would get 5.991 as my chi-squared critical value. And as far as calculating the chi-squared test statistic, I just entered the matrix into my calculator, the one that was already given to me, and then I went to chi-squared test and wrote down the value to 3 sig figs, 4.48. They asked me if the evidence suggested that they were related, so I'm just making a conclusion here. I know the saying is if CV is low, reject HO. Well, in this case, our critical value is greater than our chi-squared value. Therefore, I'm accepting HO. Therefore, eye color and gender are independent. Question 3, this was a truth table. They wanted me to show